Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Iona, domesticated me. How are you today? Well, today I'm going to use my YouTube channel to talk about today's news and, in particular, one specific topic. And it's going to kind of roll into what we always talk about here, some domestication factors that lead us to feel and do the things that we do. But anyhow, it's about Mr. Ice Cube. Today was a good day. So my timeline got flooded with all these things about Ice Cube, and so I was like, okay, let me try to figure out what did Ice Cube say, because I'm one of those. I'm just not going to start posting stuff and say I want to know what did he say. So I went to YouTube and I listened to what Ice Cube said, and I found I found his perception to be acceptable to my brain. I see his perception behind it. I wouldn't be angry at all at him for any of the things that he said. They're all his truths. Some things I can wholly 100% say that they would be my truth too. Because I do subscribe to it. I do subscribe to not just voting. I don't think that is a thing. I never thought it was a thing that you would just vote. You have things on the ballot you're not looking, that you don't really know about. You're not reading it. You're just voting. So those are some of the things that I definitely agree with him on. You should be voting for a reason. There should be a reason why we're voting people in. There should be a reason why we're voting on these different measures. There should definitely be a reason. And when you're voting for judges and sitting district attorneys and things of that nature, hey, you got to know who these people are. You cannot just be putting a check just because their name is on the ballot. You cannot do it. And I don't think that it's wise to do it. I think when he says know what your vote is going to get you, like what is it going to get you economically, we should be really looking at what our vote is going to get us economically. We should not only be worried about voting in the primary, but we should be worried about voting in any election. Or even in the national general election. We should be voting on all of our elections. Any measures that come on the ballot, we should be reading and educating ourselves on those measures so that we're able to vote on them, because they will affect your community when you don't vote. And so you have to know what you're voting on and how it is affecting your community. So just to get out and say rock the vote or vote, 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 tell me what it is I'm voting for. Oh, I'm just a Democrat and I'm going to vote for Democrat because I've been domesticated and understanding that this is who the Democrats are. Or I'm going to vote for Republican because I've been domesticated and believing that these are who Republicans are and this is who they do. This is what they're going to do for people like me. And this is going to be for people who or whatever. So I'm going to pick a side and I'm just going to vote regardless of anything. Or can I vote across party lines? Like I want to vote for a Republican president because of these factors. I want to vote for a Democratic governor because of these factors. Or whatever it is that I'm thinking. I want to vote for somebody that is because of these factors. And when I began to do that, I'm doing it because of factors that are important to my life, not just because of whatever reason. Now, we are in a special time right now, simply because it does appear that it might be a do or die thing, because we might have a president who may not be fit for office. And so now everybody is saying you got to get this guy out by all means necessary. So just vote. What is that vote going to get you? It's going to get this guy beat and out of office. So if that is what you're trying to do, that's it. Now, Cube, he is specifically talking about the economic upturn for the American descendant of slaves. ADOS. That is what he's talking about. He is not talking about trying to get anybody out of office or any of that. He is talking about reparations. That is why he went to go work with the Republicans, because they were willing to listen. Democrats, wasn't willing to put nothing on the table, even if they was willing to listen. They done put this money on the table, billions of dollars is what he says. Doesn't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but that is what was presented to him. There is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I know a lot of people are going to be also offended by his person of color comment, but at the end of the day, he's absolutely correct. This whole blow up right now has been blowing up since freedom. And it has not really changed over time. And on that totem pole, the American descendant of slave is still at the bottom. So you can add as many people of color above us as you want. But what he's saying is that this is who I'm concerned with. I'm not really concerned with any of that other stuff. Does that make him a person a separatist? Does that make him a person that doesn't want equality for all? No, I don't believe that it does. I just believe that he's saying that his focal point at this particular time is this. And that's that. So those that are offended by that, one thing. Those are offended that he is just not jumping on the program of just electing someone just to be electing them, or for whatever reasoning you have to be electing them. That's your truth. If your truth is we got to vote for the Democratic Party, Biden and Harris, regardless of anything, because we need to get this joker out of here, then that's your reasoning for voting for that ticket. If you say, hey, he ain't that crazy, he putting a lot of money in my pocket, that stock market is up, my portfolio look good, my retirement plans haven't crashed yet, and the reason why the stock market is stable the way it is because of Trump. We need to keep this guy in here until we can figure it out. Trump is getting voted for. If that's your thing, do you feel economically him being in office can help you? They're going to vote for him, regardless of what is going on. And if you're going to vote with your heart, with your conscience, then you'll vote him out, because you know that it could be disastrous. Money don't come before everything. Portfolios don't come before everything. So it could be disastrous. So that is what you'll do. But I just think that when we talk about other people's perceptions and then all of a sudden we're upset and we're angry, you know what has just happened to all of you people that are upset and angry by anybody's views, whether they're for Trump, against Trump, for Kamala and Biden, for whatever. Your ego is bruised because they don't think like you. Or your ego is bruised because you thought they would think like you. Ice Cube has bruised some egos because people thought that he would think like them, like he was going to be with the program. And he say he's not pushing that program. So when our egos get bruised, for whatever reason they're being bruised from, it's really based on our self-image that we have developed for ourselves. Whether they're bruised because of other people who we believe should be behaving a certain way because they're connected to us, whether they're bruised because of an image that we held for a person, a character that we created for a person who we believe they are, and now our ego is bruised because we found out that they're just not who we thought they were, or the character we created them to be. And when that happens, our egos get bruised. So don't let your ego be bruised this day, because the man says some things very intelligently. And as a matter of fact, I love the monotone way he said them. And I can respect a lot of the things he said as truth for myself. I could definitely do it. Definitely. And some of the stuff I could be like, okay, I get where you coming from in that. But that's a agree to disagree. And that's when your ego stops being bruised. When you stop trying to influence people's perceptions on you. Stop trying to influence the way people think about you, the way people look, that reputation driven, Iona. And stop caring about people's perceptions about you. Because it's a false story. They made it up. It's the character that they made up about you. And try your best to stop doing other people like that. This is their life. We all have a life to live. All marriages are not going to look the same. All relationships are not going to look the same. All things are just not going to look the same in your life. They're not. What makes another person happy makes another person sad. What thrills you will not thrill the next person. And so in that, I would say, guys, don't let your ego get bruised. Don't run around trying to bruise other people's ego. And I say that word ego very, very lightly. But really, let's just really, really, really try to not get so bruised. And I'll see you the next time on Domesticated Me, because I'm just about at the time allotted for me.